The Scottish Parliament is stuck in a doom loop. Late last month, Humza Yousaf declared a political victory over Inverclyde Council. On the steps of the local authority's building, the First Minister heralded achieving a fully funded national council tax freeze and derided councillors' attempts to resist Holyrood's imposition. The detrimental impact of the Scottish Government's council tax freeze, however, has been clear since the policy was announced last October. Services will be slashed, and what's left of Scotland's local state after 14 years of austerity will diminish even further. 17 years after the SNP pledged to scrap the unfair council tax, the situation is objectively perplexing. Democratically elected local authorities have been deprived of the right to raise revenue by the very same Scottish Government that protests when they are denied that same right by Westminster. They've trampled all over local democracy. Too timid to ask wealthier Scots to pay more, the Scottish Government has instead granted them a concession, locking in place a fundamentally reactionary tax model that punishes working class Scots. But the SNP know this. Reforming the council tax is party policy just as it is for Scottish Labour. Why then, despite this consensus, has nothing changed? It's simple, really. Politicians ultimately fear they have something to lose by implementing a fairer alternative: the votes of Middle Scotland. Endemic in Holyrood, this fear of confrontation plagues our politics. Averse to class conflict and thus more fundamental change, Holyrood all too often opts for sticking plasters, but they peel off before too long. By passing the worst of austerity down to local councils, politicians absolve themselves of their lack of political ambition. Defined of their radical potential, local councils no longer pose the threat to Holyrood and challenge their failings in the way they once did. Thus, politicians of all stripes in Holyrood get off scot-free. Just look at Scottish Labour's response to the council tax freeze. The party support the policy in principle on the proviso that it's fully funded, but have offered nothing as to how that might be achieved, and now they appear to oppose progressive income tax rises. This isn't serious politics. It's pure performance on all sides, and it needs to stop. Billy Connolly once called Holyrood a pretendy wee parliament, and for as long as this stuff continues, the big yin will be proven right.